All right, welcome back everyone to Talk to Tatiana show. And today with me I have Jyotsna. Welcome, Jyotsna. So great to have you on the show. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hey Tatiana, thank you so much for having me on this show. It's such a pleasure and it's so relevant to be on your show for me right now because you've just launched your book, and I also typically help authors, aspiring authors, to become published authors. So that's what I do.
That's amazing. And you work for yourself, right?
Oh, sorry, I couldn't hear that, Tatiana.
You work for yourself. It's
Yes,
your
so I
business.
started a company called Happy Self Publishing about 5 years ago, and it started with just me and one assistant, and now we have a team of more than 25 people. We have served more than 500 authors from across the world. So now I'm happy that I'm in a position to grow the business.
That's amazing. I love that. And as an author, I mean, you're an author also, and so you understand how difficult sometimes it is to launch a book, and it's usually it's like having another child. I feel like having a book is the longest labor that I've experienced, even though my labor was really long to begin with. But tell me a little bit about. Um, how you started on this journey. How did you decide to form this company, to write a book, to become a speaker, to become an author coach? What was that journey like?
This journey of entrepreneurship began about a decade ago, where I was at that point of time working at a retail store as an employee. My job was kind of getting monotonous, very boring, and I was always looking at ways to quit the job. And I had the right reason one day when I had a very horrible fight with my boss. So that kind of sparked my decision to quit my job and kind of try my hand at entrepreneurship. So, this was not my first business. The first thing I started was a staff recruitment agency for the retail industry in India because that's where I live. And that business took up very well. I did not expect to see profits, but from the very first month, I started to make money. And it ran well for 2 years. And then the biggest shift happened in my life. I became a mom. After having my kid, my life completely changed, as every mom can totally relate to this, right? And I realized that I can't keep doing the same things that I used to do, uh, because now the kid becomes a priority. So I cannot take 100 phone calls every day. I cannot attend 20 client meetings every day. So I realized that for me to kind of find a balance, I need to work from home, and that business that I had started was would not support that. So I started looking out for other options. I tried my hand at a couple of different businesses. Nothing really served me. And then I realized I should probably do something online so that the business can be completely flexible. I can work whenever I want, at whatever pace I want, and I can work from home or from a cafe or wherever. So that's when I just started to Google and find out different options of starting an online business. And I kept looking at a lot of articles that spoke about Kindle publishing. So back in the day, that was like a very lucrative business opportunity. This was about 7 years ago. And I started to take up a lot of online courses. I hired a coach from Canada who was doing this in a big way. And due to the support of all my online mentors, I got the confidence to publish books on Amazon. And at that time, Tatiana, I would not consider myself as a writer. So I would just find attractive topics, and I would find ghost writers on websites like, back then it was called Elance, now it's Upwork, on Fiverr and places like that. And I would put together these small ebooks and I would publish them at least one a week. And within about 6 months' time, I had more than 50 titles on Amazon. And the royalty that I earned from these books became my business at that time. So I actually was happy to shut down my recruitment business and only focus on this. This went on well for a year. And then I felt that it's high time that I wrote my own book, because by then I kind of felt that I did achieve something that is worth sharing. And that's how I wrote Job Escape Plan. And that book, that one book, completely changed my life because now people wanted to know my story. They read my book, they wanted to interview me. And after getting that kind of visibility, I realized that, like me, there are so many other aspiring authors who have a message, who have a story to share, but they did not know how to go about publishing. They were still knocking the doors of traditional publishers and they were getting rejected. And that's when I got this idea of starting a business to serve them, because I by then had the team of designers and editors and people who could help these authors. So that's how Happy Self Publishing was born.
That's awesome. What a great story. Congratulations on starting this business. I mean, um, book writing and publishing is a journey, and it's a long journey. So, kudos to you for helping people get that done, and being their support system and being their, I guess, at their beck and call, if that's appropriate.
Right.
It's terrific, and I agree. I mean, motherhood changes everything. When you become a mother, that's it. It's very different. Your life becomes different. Your priorities change drastically, and um, I felt like a lot of the things that I wanted to do in my life also changed because of
Mm.
I became a mom. So I really commend you on doing this, because it's um, when you're a mom and you want to be there for your kids, you have to make choices. And sometimes those choices end up being a lot better,
Yeah,
actually, oftentimes a lot better than what you would have been doing if you didn't make the choice and if you just kept going the way you thought
exactly.
was meant to be,
And since
right?
you mentioned this word choice, I see that a lot of women, especially women, they think that the choice has to be either this or that, and they cannot have both. So I feel that, especially, I don't know how it is in America, but in India, most women quit their jobs once they become moms, and they try to get back 10 years later. And it's the same with businesses. They shut down their businesses and then they've totally become a full-time a mom, and they don't do anything else because they feel they either have to choose their family or they have to choose their career, and they cannot have both. But I think today things are changing, mindsets are changing, and yes, we may have to tweak our lifestyle, we may have to change our business model, but we don't have to decide between this or that. We can just come up with creative ways to make both the things work for us.
I agree, absolutely. So in terms of being, I know that you are a TEDx speaker. Talk a little bit about how that happened, what your topic, what your message is for your TEDx talk.
Yeah, so this was my goal for a very long time. So at the beginning of the year, I make a list of things to do. And for many years, this goal was just getting pushed to the next year. So one day I decided I need to somehow make this happen. So this was a couple of years ago. I went to the TED.com website and I started to look at all the upcoming TEDx events in my country. And I was able to make a list of about 10 of them. And I also realized that these guys actually give out the details of the curator, the name and their contact information. So I wrote to many of them and I told them three things. And these three things I think are like the three key things anybody can use to pitch to TEDx organizers. So I first of all said that, I love whatever you guys are putting together and I would like to be a part of it. And I proposed a topic. So the topic should be in line with the theme of the event because most events have a central theme. And if we are able to create a topic that is in line with that, it's like an immediate yes for the organizer. So it makes their life easy. So I came up with several topics based on what I was good at. So I was pitching different topic ideas based on the event. So that's the first thing I wrote. The second thing I wrote to them was that I am a speaker. So they also want to make sure that your idea is not just great, but also the person is a good speaker. So I gave them a link to my YouTube channel where there were several of my videos. So that also gave them a chance to see if I could speak well. And the third thing I told them was my book. I said that I'm also the author of this book, by the way, and I gave them the link to the Amazon page. So that was again a big credibility boosting factor because people usually believe that authors are intelligent and can add a lot of value. So that worked in my favor when I just mentioned that I am also an author. So most of them replied to my email. Three of them immediately accepted and offered me a spot a slot to speak at their event, and I ended up speaking at two of them. So that's how my that was how my TEDx journey was.
That's awesome. And now, I mean, you help authors self-publish, but talk a little bit more about what what it is that you're helping, the transformation that you're helping your current clients to experience when they, when they first come to you, to when they kind of move on and grow and whatever develop. What is that transformation? What are the kind of the scope of service that you provide, and how what do people say about that? What is the transformation that they feel they experience?
This is such a great question, Tatiana. Initially, when I started the business, it was a way for me to make money and pay my bills. I did not think about my vision or mission or company values. I did not have any of that. So that was fine. I was just helping authors to put their books together and all of that. But after the books came out, and after I started hearing stories of how their lives were getting transformed, it kind of brought an inner transformation within me, because many of these authors have experienced that they have become more confident about their own message after their book got published. The first time they held the first copy of their book in their hand, something internally changed for them, which made them believe in their own message in a more powerful way. And that confidence helped them to reach out to more clients, grow their businesses. And then each of their books are being read by thousands of other readers. And when their readers write back to them saying that, hey, you know what, your book changed my life. And when I hear this from my clients, it's such a fantastic feeling. It feels really fulfilling. So I feel it's not just about packaging your knowledge into a book and publishing, but it's also about the self discovery that the author goes through while writing their book. They get to know a lot about themselves, their message, their mission, what they stand for in the process of writing their book. And my team at Happy Self Publishing, with our author coaches and writers and editors, they actually enable this transformation within our clients, because most of our clients are typically coaches or consultants or entrepreneurs who are already serving their audience at a certain level, but by writing their book they are now playing at the next level. They are amplifying their message. So I think that's the bigger transformation. Yes, the book is great, but around the book so many other opportunities also come into the author's lives, which is even more inspiring.
That's awesome. I love that. Thanks so much for sharing. So, what is your ideal client for your current business? Where would a person have to be um, on their journey? In their what season of life would they be to be thinking about using your service? And um, kind of how do you see that person, like if there's someone who's listening out
Mhm.
there and they hear what you're about to share, I want to know who that person is, and kind of where would they, what would using your company, your service, writing a book, what would that do for them? How would that amplify their message?
Sure. So, as I told you,
The loaded question.
Tatiana, initially we would just help anybody and everybody who just wanted a book to be published. Then, a couple of years ago, my team and I, we all sat down and made a list of our ideal clients. Who were the clients who gave us the maximum happiness and joy while working with them? And we realized that these are typically clients who have had a personal transformation in their life. They have done some work which has created results for them in any area of their life. It could be weight loss, it could be battling with cancer, it could be raising kids, or it could be taking their seven-figure business to an eight-figure business or whatever. But they have done genuine work, and that has resulted in some kind of transformation in their life. And now they want to share this with the rest of the world through their book. So when people come from this authentic place of helping others, those are the kind of clients who give us the maximum happiness, and they don't have to be like super successful or the number one in their industry. That's not really important. They could just have started their journey in whatever industry, or they may have 10 years of experience. That really doesn't matter, but what matters is they should have done it and implemented it. Whatever they are preaching in their book should be practiced by them in the first place, and then they should have helped if they have helped a few clients achieve those results, that's fantastic. And now they want to just as a way of giving back, they want to just write a book so that a lot more people can benefit out of this. So that's the kind of client whom I love working with. And it's not just about serving the world, because I think what goes around comes around. So in the process of serving a lot of people through the book, a percentage of them actually become clients for the author, because the author typically doesn't just have a book. They also have a coaching practice, or they have an online course, maybe a consulting business or a speaking business or an agency. They have some other way of helping the client at a higher level. So some of the readers actually become their clients, and that's the kind of ROI they see from the book project. So I would in short, I would say that writing a book is something that can that is really important for somebody who's already doing a great job, who's already helping people. But if you want to help people at a bigger level, the book will really help.
That's awesome. I love that. And um, as we kind of get close to wrapping up today, would you share what would be the first step for someone who's listening and think, um, all right, what if there is a book out there for me, meaning my book to be written? What if there is a book in me? What would be the one thing that they could do today? I mean, outside of connecting with you, which the information will be posted below the episode, and you can find and connect with that. But what would be the first step that they can do just to get themselves closer to that? Maybe one step closer to hiring you or someone like you, or just deciding to get on that journey.
Sure. Tatiana, when I speak to people, 8 out of 10 people always tell me that they want to write a book. It's always there on people's bucket list. But very few people actually become published authors. And the main difference is because of the intention. It's a nice thing to have a book, but unless somebody makes it their priority, it's not going to happen. So I think the first step is to get clarity on the purpose, the why behind the book. So I think for all the people who are watching, listening to this episode, if you can ask yourself, why do I need to become an author? How is it going to help my life? How is it going to help the lives of my readers? How do I see my personal and professional life change because of that book? And the reason can completely be different. Like some people write a book just to make their grandmother proud. Some people write a book to get speaking opportunities. So the reasons could be totally varied, but that's okay as long as they are clear about their why. That will be like a catalyst to get started and take the next steps. See, the how to is pretty easy, the mindset is the tough part to fix. So I think if somebody is very clear about their why and it's strong enough that it'll wake them up every morning to get started with the writing, I think that's like a big milestone to achieve.
I love it. And I was just taking notes, so you might have heard clocking, but I was just taking notes, just writing things down, and I totally agree with you. I think realigning with the why is the first step, and I thank you so much for sharing that, because that's powerful. So where can people find you? I mean, the social media information will be below the episode of both video and audio. So how can people connect with you? And what's the best way to reach out to you if they're interested in working with you?
Sure. If somebody is immediately ready to get started, they can just go over to happyselfpublishing.com and schedule a call with one of our publishing consultants. During this call, we will understand what's your why and what can be the strategy to get your book published. It's a very powerful 30-minute call. There is also another great resource for people who are on the fence. They are still thinking if they should become an author. Then for those people, I have a 5-day live boot camp. It keeps happening every now and then inside my Facebook group called Happy Authors Tribe. So just head over to happyselfpublishing.com/tribe so that you can join our free Facebook group and get to watch the boot camp as well.
That's awesome. I love that. Thank you so much for being here, for agreeing to come on the show, and for sharing the work that you do. I'm really excited for that.
Thanks a lot, Tatiana, for this wonderful opportunity to connect with your community. Thanks.
All right. Thanks so much.